Right then everyone, today we're here for another special antique for you, and this is a record player from the 1950s. So if this is something that will interest you, then please stick around and let's have a look into this. Right, so today we are looking at this 1950s record player. Now this is just something you don't see too often. I wouldn't say it's hard to come by, but you don't see them too often. I mean, this is probably the stuff your dads were using back in the day, sort of thing. Back in the 50s they would have been playing sort of Elvis Presley and things like that on this. Yeah, you just don't see a record player like this anymore. I mean, record players came in from probably maybe the late 40s, 50s. They started really taking over 60s, 70s and 80s. They were well in full swing. And then sort of by the late 80s, early 90s, it started phasing out then with CDs. So this, obviously being a record player, was an invention for music that was around for a very long time. And if you know about LPs, there's millions of them out there from back then. But now they're starting to become rare, I would say, because you're just not making them so much anymore. Especially ones like this, if you know about record players, and these type of record players just don't come round that often anymore. And as we'll get a bit closer look into it, but obviously on the right here, if you look at this, this is the lid to that, but also inside that it has a speaker. So that's how your sound comes out, and I'll show you that in a little while. That's obviously your turntable bit. I don't know if it's belt driven or direct drive, I really couldn't tell you. And then obviously this side, you got your needle, arm here, and I'll zoom in a bit closer in a second to show you the speeds that this thing went at back then, because these type of speeds, they did away with that like between sort of 70s onwards, like the speeds that are here, you couldn't get them anymore. And from like the 70s, 80s, you only had 2 speeds, and then that was it. So yeah, other than that, that shows you really how old it was, and that's the speed of records they were cutting back then. So yeah, that's it. Other than that, it's got a wire to the speaker and stuff, but I'll come in a little closer now, just to show you what's going on with the speed of it, because it is interesting, because a lot of people wouldn't really know this. If you can see there, I'll just move this arm out of the way. There's no needle in there, it broke off obviously years ago. But right, so if you can see it there, 78. I'll come in a little closer, just there's 4 speeds there, and back when I was a kid there was only 2 speeds, but way before that it was 4. So you had 78, 45, 33 and 18. Well, that's how it started out, was them 4 speeds right there, and then eventually they cut the 78 and they cut the 18, and it was just down to 45 and 33 as far as I remember was the cutting speeds for records then. But if you know about really old thick records, then they would only run on 78, and it would be too slow then on 45. But as you can see there, you've got a little arm for selecting your speed and stuff like that. So I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not much to it. I Don't know if that's the name of it, everyone. It says Stella. There we go, it says Stella. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone. There's writing underneath it, but I can't make that out. If that means anything, or if that's the name of this record player, then please let us know. And there you go, that's the actual turntable itself. Move this needle out of the way. Turntable itself, and then this bit here would slide up and down, because some records would have a big hole in it and then others would just have a small hole in it, like that one there, or some records then would have a big hole in it for this one here. So depending on which record you had, that would be on the size of that really. So that's that. And I'll show you now this little speaker bit. If I come round now and just bring that round. So this is the speaker on the front here. This is all transistor. So it's like a transistor radio then, I guess, or record player I suppose. So there's transistors in this thing then. And this here it says made in Holland, so at least we got that much. Made in Holland, this thing, and as I said to you, it's a speaker in the back there as well. So that's what that would look like from behind. And then I'll show you in a minute now. This goes on top and acts as a lid for on top of that, which is for them days a pretty genius thing, I suppose. You know, it's something that, you know, you wouldn't have thought that the speaker's actually in the lid. So, you know, back for the 50s, that's fair enough. I don't know what you would have used this for completely, to be honest. Household record player, I guess, or taking it out, I don't know, like the beach maybe, I'm not sure, but again, you'd still need power somewhere maybe, I'm not sure. On the side here, you've got some little knobs things, I guess that's for pitch, and for that, just in case if you're breaking down, you could speed it up a little bit more or slow it down a little bit more. And I'll show you this quickly then. So it's the same thing, just bunch it up and then you stick it down on there. Don't get me wrong, I don't think you could carry this around with you or anything. There is a handle there, like as you can see, but don't get me wrong, I don't think you could just sort of transport this around while it's playing, because obviously the needle would have never held. However, it can be portable, take it somewhere with you, maybe the beach or whatever, power it up, and there you go, you got yourself some music on the move sort of thing. Take it out, put your records on it, and there you go, you've got your music to go. So yeah, that's it everyone. That is your record player there from the 1950s. So yeah, if that's something that interested you, then please stick around for a lot more stuff like this to come. I have tons of things like this, record players, radios, all from 50s and before. So if you want to see more of that, then yeah, stick around, and very soon there'll be more coming. So thanks everyone, have a good afternoon, and I will see you soon.